What's going on, everybody? My name is Austin. We're back at Burkify Gaming, and we are here with Rent Advice by my Natalia Theodore 2. I'm not any closer to getting that right. So I played a little bit. I played the first chapter of this yesterday, so I'll do that again before just like with the Observer. I'll play the first chapter and end it where I was. Come back to it later because I got a lot of things I want to get done today. So first off, I do not want to see any trigger warnings. I'll do everything the same. Which could be a mistake because I did some stupid shit. But I only need one hand so I pick up my. Fuck, I'm tired. I only need one hand so I pick up my mic for this. Alrighty. Begin. Chapter 1 Thunderstorm. So, what did you do with your life? Well, like I said yesterday, I explained this to you yesterday. I don't know why you're asking again, but I was born. I was kind of a lazy shit for the first couple of years of my life, then I hang out with my parents a lot, did a lot of stuff. And then my brother was born, then my sister was born, then my other brother was born. I was in high school. I slacked around through school because I didn't give a shit, joined the Navy, and then I started a YouTube channel. What about you, Miss Theodora Do? What'd you do with your life? Anyway. It's early Monday morning, you already have one of those headaches, ones that feel like your skull is about to burst open. The kitchen is lit by a single fluorescent light on the ceiling. Rain is pounding on the room's only street-level window. The world outside is still dark. The street's empty. The city has not woken from its slumber. For a moment, the sound of the storm overwhelms everything else. The soft buzz of the light, the antique analog clock on your wall, your own breath. There's nothing in the world but this raging thunderstorm and the water falling on your window. You catch a glimpse of your face in the glass. The light makes your eyes look hollow. Your kid is still asleep in the back room. Switch on your holo and set it to project the news while you make breakfast. You keep the volume low. The obligatory morning commercial lights up on your wall. Yesterday it was a holiday package for the whole family. That one must have slipped through the cracks. Today it's virtual experience. Surprising, wonderful, exciting virtual experience. They call it Rent Advice in your line of work. A warm, genderless voice fills the room. Virtual experience is here to change the way you live your life, the voice says while the holo projects images of smiling, healthy-looking people holding hands. They all wear full-body VE suits. Half of them are supposed to be feeders providing this service, the rest of them users, but you can't tell them apart. Forget simulations of virtual reality, the voice continues. VE gives you access to true, authentic experiences offered live by experts around the world. They are personal, unique, and unrepeatable. It is your chance to have the experience of a lifetime. I still haven't exhausted you guys. The frame now switches to a collage of breathtaking images. A sea of clouds, white cliffs as sharp as razors, a banquet so full it overwhelms the eyes. A lone lion roaming the wilderness, and a lifetime of experiences. So what will you do tomorrow? Run a marathon, swim in freezing cold water, or hike the Himalayas? With VE technology, you can ignore the limitations of your physical body. You can enjoy your favorite foods without having to worry about the calories. Jump from airplanes without ever leaving your sofa. Wrestle wild animals and be back in time for dinner without so much as a scratch. They don't show the booze, of course, the drugs, the knives, all the different ways you could be hooked. These are only implied. And the bankrupt users, the exploited feeders, who would show those. The commercial ends with a holo link to hook you up to the smallest price perceptible by human eye, listing several package details, all exorbitantly priced. Well beyond your means, that's for sure. These commercials are usually tailored to you, your preferences, your past searches, the things you like on social media. Most of the time they're spot on, but sometimes they miss the mark. Did they get it right this time? Would you ever use virtual experience technology? And yes, I picked sure, so same thing. Doing all the same choices. It sounds exciting. Just think of the possibilities. With VE, the voice, and the commercial muses, the world is your oyster. Would you like a taste? The world, your oyster. You hear this expression a lot growing up. It could definitely be true. The world could finally be that promised oyster. What kind of experience would you opt for? Something darker. You close your eyes, and for a moment you give into that darkness, your deepest desire, just for a moment. The commercial finally fades out, and the news comes on as you pick up your sharpest knife and start slicing bread. The first news segment shows Detective Torvald something being given a commendation for another bit of heroics he's performed. You could have sworn Torvald was in the news on a weekly basis. Last week, he was saving some kid's kitten. This week, it's apprehending some high-profile gang leader. Next week, he'll put an end to global warming, no doubt about it. You've worked with Torvald on a number of cases. He's your guy whenever you need access to police resources. Most cops don't like working with private investigators like yourself, but Torvald doesn't mind. He doesn't mind at all. This thing. He's the first person you'd call if you're ever in trouble. As soon as Torvald's segment is over, the news anchor introduces the next piece. A new study linking cities' declining crime rate with the rise of virtual experience technology. The featured scientist explains what kind of intimacy and immersion associated with VE enables a level of wish fulfillment and tendency neutralization never before achieved by other kinds of immersive technologies like VR or Simulife. It can be a powerful weapon for social cohesion and empathy training, the scientist concludes. So, you were saying VE is a good thing, the news anchor says, her face steely. It's virtually a gift, science says, smiling awkwardly. Pardon my pun, he adds with a laugh. The news anchor remains grim. Some might claim that our next piece of news suggests otherwise, she says. The frame changes in your kitchen walls, now painted with images of some dead kid half covered in white sheets carried out of a rundown building. The headline reads, "Another VE feeder dead. Users shocked." There's no mention of how the feeder died, but you can imagine all sorts of ways. Overdose, exhaustion, bleeding out. There's no limit to what the feeders might put themselves through for the sake of the users. In the background, there's stock footage of activists calling for regulation of the industry, claiming that a clear legal framework will be the first step to properly protecting feeders. The headline changes. Coming up, Ethel politician argues for VE ban. Outside, the rain keeps falling. Another day, another dead kid. Would you still go for it if that's the real price? The news clip gets louder for a moment. A cacophony of images bombards you from your hollow projection, fighting for your attention. Activists, politicians, journalists, rich kid buying, poor kid selling, dead kids covered with sheets. What do you make of this mess? This one. You look at the window at the darkness of the city, the bleakness of the world. Is there any point in fighting? The news anchor snaps you out of your thoughts. Do we as citizens have an obligation to protect each other's rights and freedoms? She looks right at the camera. Is she looking at you? Does the government have a right to do it for us? The frame switches to a young, sturdy-looking woman. The identifier under her face reads Miss Eugene Cockard, Ethel politician. When she speaks, her voice does not match the austere look on her face. It is soft, melodic, the kind of voice you expect from a therapist. She has a faint French accent. In a word, no, she says, the government is unable to protect anyone efficiently, and it is not the yardstick by which to define people's freedoms. Besides, should the government have a right to make ethical decisions on behalf of a citizen? I think not. This is why the Ethel campaign is advocating for the complete ban of virtual experience technology, or at least until the appropriate institutions and channels can determine that it is safe for everyone involved. One study claims that VE can achieve what crime-reducing goals the police or the mayor's office have set is not enough. It may be a cliche, but I stand by it. Better safe than sorry. Where do you stand on Ms. Cochran in her campaign? I picked this one yesterday. I am a Mr. None of these. I am Mr. Burkify. Again, none of these. Gaming. You leave the envelope back on the table, still unopened, and fix yourself your usual morning beverage. Splash of liquor in my coffee. You pour some boiling water over a teaspoon of instant coffee, and then open the top cover where you keep your whiskey. You're sipping your coffee, the alcohol is in it, stinging your eyes when your hollow buzzes with an incoming call. A face pops up in the lower right corner. It's my ex-wife, Veronica Bates. You accept the video call with a flick of your wrist. Genuinely happy to see her. Good morning, Veronica. How you doing, you ask? I'm okay, a bit stressed, but you seem to be in a good mood. Am I not allowed to be in a good mood? Wow, calm down, sweetheart. not saying anything. Your heart melts a little, but you don't say anything. But anyway, that's not what I meant, she continues. You've always been so quick to take things the wrong way, Burkify. As if the whole world is out to get you. She let that sink for a moment before speaking again. So, anyways, I needed you two to be at my place earlier today. How much earlier? In an hour? She says, unless you want to go to the teacher-parent meeting yourself. The school's on the other side of the city, not exactly on my way to the office. That's why I need you to be here early, she says. And you're only telling me this now, you ask? Come on, Burkify. She has an apologetic look on her face. I'm working 2 jobs to get by. I forgot, alright? Cut me some slack. There's a pause in which neither of you speak. You think of the good old days. Because there were good days, weren't there, back then? Back when you loved each other more than anything in the world? You told each other that every single day, and if you forgot, she reminded you, but most of the time she didn't need to. You glance out the window. The rain keeps falling and falling. Things had really been good between you once. Then somehow everything changed. What happened to you? Why did they break up? Different things drifted apart. It was gradual, the way you grew into different people. At first you didn't realize it, but eventually the change caught up to you. Concrete and undeniable. She wanted stability and safety. I want to focus on my work. Do require sacrifices, long hours, dedication, occasionally dangerous work. This one. All that had very little to do with stability and safety and was very far from her ideal family life and your ex-wife had in mind. You could both see it wasn't going to work. Hear your voice calling out to you, snapping you back to the present. I did a coin flip yesterday. It's my son. What's your son's name? People at my door. Anyway, Daddy, he calls for you again. I gotta go, you tell Veronica. Little bastard needs me. I'll do my best to be there on time. I'm trying to calm down because I did this yesterday and I laughed for like 5 minutes straight. Anyway, sure, go. I'll see you in a bit, yeah? Veronica pauses and she adds, you're a good daddy, Burkify. I nod, terminate the connection without a word. Love you, I whisper after. Daddy, I saw the dream again, your son says, cowering under the blanket. It was just a dream, I've heard disappointment. I say, it can't hurt you. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I really hope Bandicam's still picking up my voice, because I know I had issues with that today. Anyway. But you know it's not just any dream. I was caught in a thunderstorm, little bastard continues as if he didn't even hear you. I was all alone. Remember that thunderstorm? Of course you remember. Little bastard was playing Hollow games in the back seat. He must have been around 4 at the time. Veronica was sleeping in the passenger seat. You were coming home from your father-in-law's place 2 towns away. This was back when he was still healthy enough to live on his own. Back when 3 of you were a family. The sky was dark, heavy with rain, but nothing prepared you for what followed. The storm hit your car like a wall. Veronica was startled awake. Your son let his hollow drop and burst out crying. Visibility was 0. For a moment you didn't know where you were, who you were. Did you have a splitting headache that day too, or is your mind starting to make things up? Back projecting your memories like a faulty hollow. How did you get your family through this? I went for the first one. You didn't even have time to pull over. You remember the moment you saw the tree landing in front of the car out of nowhere. You didn't swerve fast enough. The car hit the tree trunk and tumbled off the road. You pulled yourself out as quickly as you could and called a client who owed you. She was in charge of the VIP rescue team. They arrived in minutes. They pulled your son out first. He was in shock, but safe. Veronica had broken her arm and bruised her ribs, but it was her trust in you that took the biggest hit. Come on, after disappointment, you say. We should hurry up. You'll be late. And your mama needs us there extra early today. You finally convinced the little bastard to emerge from under his blanket. You managed to get some breakfast into him and made him put his clothes on, but it's taken way too long now. You're late. You were about to leave the house when you realize he's forgotten his school bag, so you sent him to his room to get it. Your son skips down the hallway on his way to his room. You glance at your watch. You're supposed to be at Veronica's 10 minutes ago. She won't be happy. You throw your jacket on, rest your forehead against the wall. You close your eyes for a minute. Just a minute. Someone knocks loudly on your door. It's way too early for visitors. Not that anybody visits anyway. This can't be good. You run your fingers through your hair before opening the door. It's Jerry, somebody you owed a lot of money to. Showing up at your door is not the best way to start the day. He had both his hands in his pockets. His hair is wet and dripping down his coat. He does not look happy. Nobody's happy this morning. Where's my money, BurgerFi? He asks. I trust you to get yourself back on track. You know, I don't lend my money to just anyone. You met Jerry back when you were drunk. He really helped you build yourself back up when you decided it was time to get back into the PI business. He didn't do it out of kindness of his heart, of course. The charity of strangers always comes back to haunt you in the end. How did you deal with the situation? This one. You reach into your pocket, grab all the money you've got, and he takes the money and counts it. It's not enough, but it'll do for now. Pats you on the shoulder as if you're a child. He'll be back for the rest of the money soon, but at least you and your son are safe for now. You can finally breathe again. And this is where I stopped in the last one. So like I said, I got the first chapter. I'm going to be done for this episode. So, as always, like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have suggestions, give me tips, comments, put in the comment section below, and I will see you all in the next episode.